I'm on the Riese. Everybody look at me, cause I'm pissing on a zombie. What's up guys? We're here with the 10th and final episode of Zombies Retrospectives. Rambo, the Riese was the 4th map ever made, so, why is it episode number 10 in your stupid ass series? Let's not focus on that. Instead, let's just think about all the fun we've had on this epic journey. After all, viewer interest is down the freaking toilet, and civilization as we know it is collapsing around us. I can't think of a better time to talk about the giant masterpiece known as the Riese. The Riese was released exactly 11 years ago today, August 6th, 2009, as part of the final DLC for Call of Duty World at War. What's there to possibly say about this map that hasn't already been spoken of? It's a fun map with good level design, interesting characters, and some nice innovation. That's all I really got to say about the map. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to zap that like button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my monthly uploads.
No treats for you!
Okay, I guess I'll continue on with the video. The Riese famously introduced various key features to the Zombies mode, such as the Pack-a-Punch machine, teleporters, monkey bombs, the Bowie knife, and the Carpenter power-up. There was some poor bastard who commented on the Riese trailer when it first came out, and he was all excited about the new edition of the Carpenter. Or how about this guy? What does the Pack-a-Punch do? Or even, Bowie knife is gonna be on the wall? That is brocken. People were very naive back then. Oh, how I miss the good old days. You know what days I'm talking about. The golden days when you would camp on the catwalk with your buddies from school. Or when your cousin tried telling you that there was a hidden boss at round 50 that would emerge from the help door. Or maybe that time when a dude on some creepy forum tried telling you that the trench gun was the bestest, most badass weapon to use on the map. Those days are long gone, and I say, good riddance. Let the past die. Burn it. Don't waste your time always searching for those wasted years. Cause I had enough of seeing these remasters of the same old maps year in and year out. If I had to see a remaster of the map Buried in the next game, I may very well just lose my marbles. Something worth noting about the Riese is that it's actually the first Zombies map that Jason Blundell worked on.
You know, I came on a little bit later on. I came on DLC 3, which was the Riese in World at War. He said, "How did you feel about that?" I was like, I was crapping myself. You know, it was the scariest thing I'd ever had in my professional career, which was to be given something that was so beloved by so many, and then say, okay, now make something new.
Well, he sure did make something new, and with him being the lead Zombies dev for the map, I gotta give credit where it's due. Jason did an awfully good job at copy-pasting sections of a multiplayer map and turning it into an iconic Zombies level.
This is so amazing. This is so fun. I'm such a fraud.
Like my other zombie retrospectives, I'll speak a bit about the high round scene for the Riese in the early days. A playlist with all my other retrospectives will be in the description below. Anyways, the high round scene for the Riese on World at War was kind of a big shit show, since the Riese was the first map with more than 24 zombies per round on solo. This change was a bit intimidating for most players, and as far as co-op was concerned, it wasn't much more friendly. I mean, all the co-op maps on World at War were pretty difficult back then, so a cohesive high round community was never able to fully develop during World at War. Strategies on the Riese were pretty basic and similar. The game plan typically consisted of utilizing the various electric traps on the map, and using teleporters to bail you out when necessary too. Back then, a focus was placed on safety rather than the speed of the game, but even with the most modest of strategies, players would usually check out as early as round 50 or 60, just because they were bound to make a mistake at some point, such as getting stuck on the super sticky zombies on the map. On Black Ops 1, the high round strategies were more or less the same, but players started to improve a bit, and generally the mechanics were much smoother when compared to World at War, which obviously helped. Again, trap strats were the way to go on this map, since the Wunderwaffe was kinda ass and would only kill 10 zombies per shot.
I have found better weapons in a garbage pile!
People eventually mastered electric trap strategies quite well, where they were able to eclipse round 240 on solo and round 150 on co-op. As a personal side note, back in July 2011, a good 9 months or so after the game was released, I got to round 53 co-op on BO1 the Riese, which isn't particularly great, but at the time, it was good for like rank 70 on the Xbox leaderboards. People legitimately sucked ass at the game back then. For a long while in 2011, the highest round on the Riese leaderboards was round 80 or so by Certinios and Defonster70. Now, there's two ways to reflect on that era in 2011. One point of view might argue that there was little competition during that period, so any records obtained were unimpressive. Another perspective is that there were so few people good at the game back then that those few players should be given credit for their accomplishments, rather than being penalized just because other people weren't as good as them. After all, it's not like there was nobody playing zombies in 2011. The mode was played by many people. It just so happened to be that the majority of players were not capable of playing at a high level. So does that discredit or enhance the high rounds that a select few were able to achieve at the time? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to delete your comment if I disagree with you. Out of the 4 classic maps that got remastered for Black Ops 1, I think Riese is the one that was improved upon the most. Nocturne and Toten and Verrucht on World at War are both great maps, and oftentimes offer just as much fun as their BO1 counterparts. Sheena Numa on World at War also has its own unique appeal since you could get a super high round on solo. And then there's Riese, which I certainly like on World at War, but I think the BO1 version is superior in almost every way. First rooms, speedruns, camping challenges, high rounds, public lobbies, you name it. I think they all play better on Black Ops 1 for this specific map. It's kind of weird when you think back on it. Riese on BO1 came out just a little over 1 year after the World at War version. All things considered, that's not really a lot of time in between releases. Then about 5 years later, you get the BO3 version called the Giant. Piece of shit. There are some questionable changes made with the Giant, such as the perk machine spawning in random locations, the mystery box not always appearing by the power switch as its first location. Of course, you got things like gobblegums and OP weapons on the map, and also the addition of extra perks on the map if you do some small Easter egg where a laser melts some snow on the map and reveals either stamina up or deadshot daiquiri. It's also worth noting that swastikas on teleporters are replaced with iron crosses, along with the Group 935 logo getting a bit of a makeover as well, where the SS insignia on the bottom of the logo was altered. If only Treyarch had told people about this subtle change to the logo before fans decided to get the SS symbol tattooed on their arm. Not just one person, but 2, 3, no, 4, at least 5 different fans with this tattoo. Unfortunately, this doesn't scratch the surface when it comes to the weird world of zombies tattoos. Former Yankees pitcher AJ Burnett has his entire back filled with stuff from zombies for some reason. Or, how about this guy? Jeez Louise. Well, to be fair, I gotta admit that I have a zombie tattoo myself. I have a sweet tat of the Cosmic Silverback on my left ass cheek. If there's something I've learned in my years of playing various niche modes in Call of Duty, it's this. Call of Duty zombie maps and modes aren't necessarily inherently great, but rather, they excel foremost because of the community. Now, this may seem like an obvious observation, and it's even a sentiment that has often been expressed by the developers of the game as well.
Outside of that, it's obviously you guys. We listen to you guys, even more than ourselves, quite frankly.
Obviously, the developers are the ones making the games, so a great deal of credit has to be attributed to them, of course. But when it comes to something like running a tight double back in a first room challenge, or speedrunning Riese to round 50, these are things that the developers could have never anticipated when making the game. So I often like to call the older games happy accidents. I imagine this happens in a lot of other games as well, but probably to a lesser extent. For example, take a single-player game like God of War. The studio for that game set out to create a rich story with polished gameplay mechanics, and there's not really a whole lot that the community can bring to the table with a linear game like that one, other than maybe some silly cosplays. On the contrary, I would say that Zombies owes a lot of its success to the community, which has found various ways to interact with a rather simple mode. And that's not to mention the direct influence that fans had on features and the storyline in the earlier days as well. There's a GameSpot article from 2016 where Jason Blundell talks about the origins of the storyline in World at War, where he stated, "It's always been about playing with the fans. The fans started writing it, the storyline, and so we saw it as fan service to be able to reply back to them. Fans having their ideas reflected in the game over the course of many years is really what made the storyline in Zombies stand out. And that developer community interaction gave the mode a competitive advantage that maybe it doesn't have nowadays, just because such interaction with fans is not exactly unique in the gaming landscape anymore." As far as Zombies gameplay is concerned, I think a lot of people have turned to the developers to add replayability to something like BO4 Zombies, and you'll probably hear the same thing from fans whenever the next Black Ops game is released as well. In my opinion, trying to have the developers deliberately manufacture replayability has rarely worked in the past. Once again, first room challenges on Verrucht are community created, as opposed to something like the Gauntlet mode in BO4, which is developer created. Grief is also another developer created mode, but the setting of round 15 with no perks on farm is a community created rule set which works significantly better. Zombies is a very limited mode in terms of what you could do with it from a creative point of view. It's really up to the community to play it in a way that wasn't intended. And at this point, after all these years, I think that both the community and developers have exhausted what they could do for this game mode, as there's only so much room for improvement or discovery after over 11 years and 60 maps. Nonetheless, as we near the release of the next Black Ops, I'm still interested in giving the game a fair chance and seeing what's done with it. Just please, no remastered of Buried as a season pass bonus.
Bring me another.
As I did with my other retrospectives, I'll end the video with fun facts and features of the map that I think are worth mentioning. Riese is the first map which awarded the player points for going prone near a perk machine. First map where hellhounds would spawn in mid-round alongside the zombies. This feature returned in some later maps such as Blood of the Dead. Riese was added to the Call of Duty Zombies mobile app in September 2010. Not much to say there. On the World of War version of Riese, there was a bug where zapping yourself with the Wunderwaffe would cause your Juggernog to glitch out, at which point you're basically screwed since Quick Revive doesn't work on solo for that game either. Speaking of the Wonder Weapon, the upgraded version of the gun is called the Wunderwaffe DG3JZ. I reckon that JZ stands for Jimmy Zielinski. As alluded to earlier, a lot of the level design for Riese is lifted from the multiplayer map Nightfire. There are also some assets taken from the campaign level Eviction as well. The promotional material and trailers for maps like Riese used to be kind of epic back in the day, since there was usually a focus on zombie slaying gameplay rather than some pseudo-cinematic shots of Richthofen. I mean, take a look at this old music video for Riese.
This will hold them back for a while.
Before this video ends, I'd like to briefly reflect on the Zombies Retrospective series. I've now uploaded 10 different videos for this series, covering the classic era of zombies, or the first 10 maps released over the course of both World at War and Black Ops 1. I know some other people would end up continuing such a series and doing reviews on BO2 or BO3 maps, but I'm gonna stop my series right here. Apart from not having much interest in talking about the newer maps, the video series and its format has also grown a bit tired for me and probably viewers as well. I mean, nobody watches them anyways. But that's alright. I've had some fun making these videos and appreciate those who've stuck around. Thanks for watching and adios.